Has anyone else noticed how Sexyy Red is featured on almost every big album these days? But is she really that good? Going from viral joke to now one of the most in-demand features in music, after her breakout hit Pound Town, the internet just wrote Sexyy Red off as another meme. However, out of nowhere, the biggest artists on the planet cannot stop collaborating with her.
You gotta do this. I don't give a fuck if they know this or not. Right. You gotta do this, Chase B.
Including songs with literally two of the most famous stars in history, both Justin Bieber and Bruno Mars, one mysterious question remains. Why is Sexyy Red suddenly featured everywhere? Is there something deeper going on behind the scenes? Well, our true answer actually reveals a lot about where music is headed.
Does that trip you out, like the caliber of people that you work with? Yeah.
Today, as of this video, Sexyy Red has racked up nearly double the amount of total streams as a featured artist than all of her own solo songs combined. Like, on Spotify alone, she has cleared over 1.5 billion streams as a feature. Yes, that's billion with a B, but although some fans will tell you that her verses are always the worst part of a song, however, the crazy thing is, the exact same factor that blew Sexyy Red up in the first place is also the biggest reason why all these A-list superstars want her featured on their songs. If it wasn't for her ex-boyfriend back in her hometown of St. Louis, Missouri, then Sexyy Red might have still been stuck working at her previous job for a call center.
But that was my first job. I was like 19, 18, and I used to have to sell Starbucks. I was selling Starbucks and shit.
Everything would change for Sexyy though when, quote, "The reason I started rapping is because my boyfriend was cheating on me with a lame-ass bitch, and I made a diss song about him and the girl and her friends." And with her ex impressed, apparently even having her rap the diss song to all his friends, after graduating from high school in Missouri, as we can see here in 2016, just like that, Janae Wary had found her new career path. However, there was one big problem. She needed a stage name. And already with the nickname Red, because she always used to wear red hair, when the time came to upload her first music video to YouTube, it was actually her videographer that added in the adjective.
Upload my first little YouTube rap video. He was like, "What name you gonna put?" I'm like, "I don't know." And we was thinking of stuff. And he said, "Sexyy Red." I'm like, "I like that."
Sexyy Red.
How long ago was that?
What's your nickname?
Him.
Yeah.
The one and only. No,
Straight like that.
Nah.
Even featured on LeBron James' popular show The Shop, as well as Kai Cenat's streams and on WWE. As we're about to see later in this video, Sexyy Red's unique manager may have something to do with it. But after dropping her first ever song titled 1,000 Jugs back in 2018, which here's Sexyy rapping over Vanessa Carlton's classic 2002 hit 1,000 Miles.
Making my way through the hood with your boo. All his homeboys think I'm cute.
Following a few more early singles, then arrived Sexyy Red's debut mixtape, Ghetto Superstar. And since the very beginning, you can hear Sexy's raw energy when she gets on the mic. She's unapologetically herself, and there's no mistaking her vocals. But although this still doesn't answer yet why every star is suddenly calling on her, it was 2023 that changed her life.
I'm out of town, thug with me around, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. It make everybody laugh when they first hear it. Well, they just be like, what the fuck she say? Like, it's just...
Released in January of 2023 came Sexyy Red's breakout hit titled Pound Town, and with a beat produced by Tay Keith.
Tay Keith, fuck these niggas up!
It was instead Sexyy Red's wild and vulgar lyrics such as this insane opening bar that led to the track exploding. And while it's easy to wonder how she came up with these crazy lyrics in the studio, as we would later learn, Pound Town was actually the first song that Sexyy Red ever freestyled. And as she explains, she was simply describing what was really happening in her life that day. But despite none of the lyrics written with virality in mind, again Pound Town instantly introduced Sexyy Red to the mainstream. And with countless cosigns flooding in, this single's success would then be enough for Nicki Minaj to hop on the remix, resulting in Sexyy Red's first Billboard Hot 100 hit.
Cardi obviously, of course, would be tapping in, right? We know that. But then someone like Post is like, damn, like someone like Post Malone is saying Pound Town?
It'd be crazy. I'd be surprised every day at all the shit I see or who talking about me on their vlogs. And, you know, like even Kai Cenat. I was surprised about that. I seen academics talking about me. I just be shocked. Like, I be like, oh, so I'm really out here. Like, now they really do know me.
Right.
Whether you like her music or absolutely hate it, for the majority of the internet, Pound Town was our first introduction to Sexyy Red. But 2023 was just getting started. A month after her collab with Nicki came the release of Sexy's new mixtape, Hood Hottest Princess, including more viral hits like Hellcat SRTs and Ski Yee. Peaking at number 62 on Billboard, this was the project that launched Sexyy Red into the spotlight. However, yet still, this was nothing compared to what happened next. According to Kendrick Lamar on his diss track Euphoria, Kendrick says that when Drake stands by Sexyy Red, he believes he sees two bad bitches. But as we can see from numerous pictures together, such as this one thing is for sure. Drake and Sexyy Red have since formed quite the close relationship.
For real, man. Shout out to Sexy, man.
She's an awesome person.
Yeah, for real.
She really is.
When I see her, I see two bad ones, nigga. What's up?
Come on, God. You turn me up a little bit. I like that. I like that. I'll never forget about you.
At Drake, they can never convince me to hate you, Sexyy Red tweeted. As track 20 on Drake's 8th album For All the Dogs, in fall of 2023, we were greeted with the first collaboration ever between Drake and Sexyy Red. In addition to a verse from SZA, which was allegedly sent to Nicki Minaj first instead, Rich Baby Daddy though currently stands as the most popular song off of Drake's entire album. So was Sexyy Red's feature really that good? Well, besides her handling the hook in classic Sexyy Red fashion, also came a new music video together that includes this scene here, documenting when she actually gave birth in the hospital.
Are you guys recording?
You see my wife right there? All that ass.
You know it.
Happy New Year. Yeah, my Happy New Year.
Featuring Sexyy Red dancing and twerking throughout the hospital halls, her chorus itself is about just what you'd expect. And despite some journalists going on to label her music as, quote, rap, meanwhile, Sexyy Red, on the other hand, I don't agree with that classification. Because why is that the only thing you heard me talking about, she says. That's the only thing that you got out of everything I just said. You just heard me say coochie. I hate when they say that.
Coochie. No, that's just something we say in the hood.
But regardless though, Rich Baby Daddy was a massive hit, both commercially and on the charts. Still the #1 most streamed song to date of Sexyy Red's career. However, how did Drake and Sexyy Red even meet? Is there someone secretly pulling some strings behind the scenes? Well, as Billboard tells it, according to David Gross, who we're about to see is her mysterious yet very well-connected manager, Gross claims that Drake reached out to Sexyy via DM around the time when the rest of the industry began to take notice. The two would first meet in person backstage at Drake's 2023 show in Brooklyn. Just met my rightful wife, Drake posted on his story.
We was backstage at his room. We was just chilling, and he f***ed with me. Everybody that was coming in the room, he was being nice, introducing me. He like, she's awesome, she's great, this Sexyy Red.
So then, between supporting Moneybagg Yo on his tour, as well as headlining her own Hood Hottest Princess tour, Sexyy Red was named an opener for Drake and 21 Savage's blockbuster It's All a Blur tour. Be there or be square, come see a bad bitch, she typed on Instagram. Thank you, Drake. Joining Drake on this tour was an incredible look for Sexyy Red and her brand, but she was still far from finished. To return the favor, that next year in 2024, when we heard Sexyy Red's third project, In Sexy We Trust, it was only right for Drake to have a feature. On yet another Tay Keith co-produced beat, which by the way Sexy says are her favorite type of beats, having released right in the midst of his beef with Kendrick, throughout his verse Drake actually starts rapping over the BBL Drizzy sample, which Metro Boomin had comically made during their feud. Putting his own spin on it though, and playing off how Drake's like BBL Drizzy for real, due to how many new bodies he has bought for girls, while in my opinion it's the opposite, with a pretty sufferable Sexyy Red performance and a decent Drake verse, as Fantano tells it in the middle of a burp.
He raps over the BBL Drizzy beat or some variation of it, and yeah, it's kind of corny, but honestly, Sexyy Red does kind of save it a little bit with these horrendously out of tune and ridiculous vocal harmonies that are clearly sung bad on purpose.
Clearly sung bad on purpose honestly sounds like a pretty big stretch to me. But following her 2024 mixtape though, Sexyy Red just continued collecting the A-list rapper Infinity Stones, as next on her list was Tyler the Creator.
No way, bruh.
When Tyler the Creator's Chromacopia album released in 2024, similar to how we see Travis Scott often do, none of his album's features were listed. Now, I've already made an entire previous video about the hidden power of surprise features, leading to then crazy first listens like I'm Dante doing cartwheels, but alongside other verses from Glorilla and Lil Wayne arrived Sticky featuring Sexyy Red. However, having crossed off multiple of hip-hop's biggest names from her collaboration list at only 27 years old, next came the global pop stars. To celebrate his new #1 hit and first return back to music in over 3 years, Bruno Mars posted this to Instagram in January. Thank you all. I'm headed to the studio right now to make a strip club anthem. Someone please help me get in touch with Sexyy Red. Hey Bruno, Sexy tweeted an hour later. as one of the best-selling music artists of all time, regardless of genre. These posts back and forth were clearly promo, because 3 days later arrived Fat, Juicy, and Wet, Sexyy Red and Bruno Mars' latest single.
And then we came about this song. And he's so creative, like, I just let him take direction with the, you know, the looks and stuff, because I don't wear stuff like this, suits and all that.
You look good.
It's turned out cute.
When Fat, Juicy, and Wet first dropped, a lot of fans were confused from both sides. And although Bruno is no stranger to working with female rappers in the past, such as Cardi B, linking up with Sexyy Red, though, was very unexpected. But I guess if you thought this collab was crazy, when fans were met with Justin Bieber's surprise new 7th album in July, titled Swag, the internet was again caught way off guard seeing Sexyy Red's name as a feature. And when they pressed play on Sweet Spot, let's just say Sexy was her usual self. He gonna do whatever I say, cause Sexy got that hoochie coo, she raps. I ain't no lame ass bitch, I'm a freaky bop. Put that my ass, make my heart stop. At track number 15, titled Sweet Spot, as we can see from this video posted to Justin Bieber's Instagram, with the caption, @Sexyy Red, I love you friend, faded in this video, don't judge. Clearly, the two linked up in person to record together.
When we fuck, he beat it up, that's what I like, I'm feeling you.
At one point even giving Sexy a kiss on the forehead. Despite Justin saying not to judge, that is exactly what fans did in his comments, with criticism about him being a dad and a husband. At this point, I feel bad for Haley, one user types. However, it wasn't long before Sexyy Red clapped back. I see two friends of the opposite sex having fun making music about their significant others. I don't see anything wrong. As it stands, Sexyy Red and her music has most of the internet split right down the middle. But meanwhile, for artists actually on the scene, again, the list goes on of Sexyy Red's recent mainstream collaborations. So it's time to answer the question, could it really have nothing to do with her music at all? As we know, while it's obviously artists themselves up on stage performing, and it's their voice we hear in our headphones, in the music industry, record labels and management teams are typically the ones really pulling the strings. And in the case here of Sexyy Red, a lot of fans will instantly point to her unique management. In 2021, Rebel Music, which is an independent Miami-based label and management company, signed Sexyy Red to her first contract after stumbling across some of her early tracks. But then 2 years later, by mid-2023, Miami-based distributor OpenShift and Gamma, which is Larry Jackson's media company that creates, distributes, and markets content with a specific focus on black culture, they apparently reached out to and expressed interest. And so, according to David Gross, who became Sexy's manager around this same time too, he has clarified that Sexyy Red is currently signed to Rebel Music, while Gamma and OpenShift handle her distribution, which as we can see here is true by looking at the credits of her newest album. Now, if you don't know who this guy, David Gross, is, besides his obvious work in the music space managing artists, David was also the late Nipsey Hussle's longtime business partner, as the two would even launch a new investment initiative back in 2020 titled Our Opportunity, which focused on spreading economic opportunity in low-income neighborhoods throughout the US.
You already introduced me and made the connection to Nip. That's why most of the people watching this will probably know me. I'm an investor and a real estate developer. I spent half my life learning finance, economics, the business of investing, worked on Wall Street for a decade before coming back to LA and then kind of transitioning and getting into the things that people identify me with. But there was a whole lifetime before all that.
But while this is great and all, as David told Billboard, supporting and developing Sexyy Red into one of today's biggest hip-hop stars is one of Gross's proudest achievements. So with that being said, is David Gross simply the answer for all of Sexyy Red's recent connections? Well, not exactly. Although an experienced and deep-rooted management team is definitely very helpful, at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is all these superstars are calling on Sexyy Red because of what she brings to the table. While of course you're gonna have fans like some of Justin Bieber's who are calling for a solo version of Sweet Spot, Sexyy Red is one of the most in-demand features right now due to her raw, 100% authentic energy. She neither sounds like anyone else nor acts like anyone else, and despite the haters, Sexyy Red is always going to be herself.
I been knew I was the shit. Like, can't nobody take that from me. Like, they didn't call me ugly, dirty. They didn't say the worst of the worst about me, but it's like, I know who I am inside, so I just get up there and still perform, and I even talk shit, like, after the show, like, yeah, I see y'all hating assholes in the crowd.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm still gonna do me up here. I don't know. I always been a likable person, though.
Really?
Yeah, either you liked me or you was hating on me because, like, I was just cool. Like,
Because you secretly liked me.
Yeah, on God.
Ever since she first burst onto the scene, that raunchy and unfiltered personality of hers has resonated with audiences everywhere. Here in 2025, it's honestly pretty rare for rappers to show any type of personality. And with all this considered, when you add a Sexyy Red feature to your song, you are guaranteed at least a chance at going viral. And for an artist like Drake specifically, who, as we have seen from the past, is always trying to stay tapped in with the hottest upcoming names, but when it really comes down to it, Sexyy Red equals buzz and attention. And thus, naturally every superstar is gonna want a piece before it's gone.
I'm on the way to the Sexy tour, man. I'm doing about 5 days on that motherfucker. So y'all let me know, man. Get the right now. I'm on the way. Please send me the goddamn request. I'm on the way, man.
In a lot of ways, she's kind of the total package, which I know sounds ridiculous to your average rap snob, because, yeah, she's no lyrical miracle. But personally, I'll take style, attitude, sense of humor, and some really good hooks over a technical spitter any day. And Sexyy Red has all that.
Sexyy Red is a cultural force in 2025, whether we like it or not. However, for Sexyy, her motive is quite simple. I ain't going to lie, I'm in it for the moolah. Because I need money, I got to live. No sucking shit or nothing like that, she clarifies. But whatever I can do to get some money, I'm going to do it.